Hey, Patrick McGinnis here, sitting down with the cast and crew of Ira and Allison's Murder Mystery, the latest feature film from R. Todd Productions. And sitting down with me right now is the leading lady of the film, Kelli Simpson, who plays the character of Allison. Hey, how's it going today?
Good, good. How are you?
Good. Now tell me a little bit about Allison and how she fits into the world of this film.
Allison is a songwriter, and she and Ira are married. They've been married for a little while. Allison is a little bit more adventurous than Ira is. He's a bit more, I like plans, I like this, I like that, and I need to know what's going on, and that kind of way, whereas Allison's like, let's do something fun, let's do this, let's do that. And she's, in the beginning of the film, she's a little bit bored. Like, come on, I want to do something, I want to have a good time, and then, you know, the murder thing happens, and she's like, ooh, let's have some fun.
Murder?
let's
In a murder
figure this
mystery?
out. Yeah. So she really gets into figuring it out, while Ira's a bit more, what's wrong with you?
And what's that like playing a character who at the beginning of the film is more one way, and then as the hecticness of the film starts to take place, starting to transform and turn into another type of character? What's that like?
It's interesting because particularly since with filming, you film it out of order, so you have to kind of get your brain into like, okay, right now I'm supposed to be bored, and then an hour from now I'm supposed to be like, oh, let's do this, and especially with the long days, it was fun. It was challenging, definitely. She's not the most interesting character in the film. I definitely will say that, but she was a lot of fun to play. Being the straight man to everybody else was a lot of fun.
Which can, be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, did you do any preparation for the role or have any special influences that you kind of developed into your character?
A little bit. I knew about the script as Ryan was writing it, and as Joey stepped in to help make some changes and stuff, and we talked about, where we wanted each of the characters to go, and how in depth did we want to get with the background of Allison and Ira, and seeing where she's been and this and that. She actually started as a script supervisor, and then we switched it to a songwriter to give her a little bit more depth so that they worked in different fields.
With a gold record, am I correct?
Yes. That was on the wall. It was pretty awesome. Our designer is fantastic. So I had a little bit of influence, not as much as I have with other scripts. Life's been a little hectic lately, so I used to be a producer on the films, and this time I stepped back and I'm just an actor, so I didn't have as much influence as I've had in the past.
Let's talk about that for a second. What made you take a more of a focus on acting in this role instead of producing as well?
I had the crazy idea of going back to school and getting my doctorate.
That is crazy.
So I'm currently in school for a doctorate in clinical psychology.
Oh, wow.
And Ryan and I talked about it, and there was a lot of back and forth on, do I want to do the film? Do I not want to do the film? Do I want to be a producer only and not act in it? Do I want to be an actor and producer? Do I want, so we talked about it a lot, and I was in it, and then I was out of it, and I was in it, and I was out of it. And eventually I just said, okay, I can do the acting part of it. Let's, go through that and do auditions and stuff. And, but I can't. I have to step away from the producer because school takes up way too much
Understandable,
time.
going for a PhD. Now, this isn't your first time working with Ryan. In fact, you've worked with him plenty of times before and have acted on screen with him plenty of times before. Now, tell me a little bit about the importance of chemistry and the chemistry between you and Ryan on screen.
I think we work really well together. We know each other's temperaments, and we're friends outside of the production company and stuff.
Which is always helpful.
Yes, it's very helpful, and so we can laugh and joke and have that kind of camaraderie together already. And so I think that adds to the film, definitely. So it was fun playing with Ryan again, being different characters this time. Last time we played these crazy serial killers, and it was very, Ryan's character was very dark and mine was twisted, and it was nice to just play something a little bit more
fun.
Yeah, fun, normal.
Absolutely. Now, what do you think about Ryan as a director and his evolution over the years to this project?
I think he has amazing vision, and I remember when he told me about this idea, I was like, oh, that could be really funny, and we thought of it as maybe a short film, and then he fleshed it out into a feature, obviously. And I feel like he's evolved into realizing his strengths and things like that. And I feel like comedy is one of his big strengths. So he's a lot of fun to work with.
Now, acting in the film, did you have any favorite scene or any funny moments on set?
My favorite scene is the scene where we actually discover the body. And
Seems to be a favorite amongst a lot of the actors.
Really?
What was that one like?
We fought a lot over when we were going to actually film it, because the way Ryan wanted to film it, and I agreed with him if we could do it, and we did, was getting it all in one shot. And it was a 12-page scene, and a lot of dialogue, a lot of jumping around and screaming and yelling, and somebody comes to the door, and it's chaotic. And we ended up doing it on the very last day of filming, and we gave it a few hours and practiced it a lot with the camera movements and our movements and stuff like that. And it just, when I knew that we finally got it, it was really exciting to know that we pulled that scene off.
In talking with some of the other actors, it seems like there was a very just great amount of camaraderie on set. What was it like working with the other actors in this film?
They were fantastic. We actually branched out more with this one and used people that we didn't know. A lot of our past films have been friends or friends of actors that we know and things like that. So it was nice to have some new blood come in and see what they could do and spice up the roles. And I did know a few of the people, and one of my favorite ones to work with was Emily Edwards, her name is now. I know her as Emily Pyatt because we went to high school together. She's married, so I think about what her married name was. But working with her was great. We had a lot of laughs on set, and then just getting to know the other actors was a lot of fun. I didn't get to spend as much time with everybody because, as I said, I'm in school, so there were times when I would have to step away and I was doing some homework and stuff. But the times that I was on set and hanging out with everybody and running lines and laughing, it was really nice. I enjoyed it.
It sounds like a lot of fun. Were there any challenging moments or any scenes in particular that you need any special preparation for, you were a bit nervous about going into?
Not nervous about. There was one scene in particular that, for some reason, we had done a 20-hour, well, not for some reason, I know the reason. We had done a 20-hour day the day before, and we come back to set, and it's Ryan and I, and we're trying to get through this scene of just the two of us, and I could not remember my lines for the life of me, even though I knew them, and I practiced them, but there was this one spot where I would get to that line, and I'm like, I have no idea what it is, and we'd have to stop and start again, because again, Ryan likes to shoot his scenes in one fluid take if he can, and so we would have to do the whole thing again, and that was really frustrating, because I was just so tired, and I couldn't pull it out for some reason. We finally finished it and got it done, but that was pretty frustrating.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
You said you were working with Ryan a lot before, and I know you've also worked with Joe before, and I know that this film was a true collaboration between them. What was that team dynamic like working on set?
They work really, really well together. I enjoy how they can calm each other down. They can keep things going. They can collaborate and figure out how to change something if it's not working right or whatever. And Joey is a joy to be around on set because it keeps it going and keeps it lively and positive. He's always singing and has some song of the day that he runs around and sings while he's doing stuff. And Ryan and him just seem to be able to click really well together. It's fun.
And that's important.
Yes, it is. When you're spending that much time together, it's very important.
Now, I'm interested to hear what your initial thoughts were when first reading the script, especially compared to the past productions you've done with these production companies. What did you think when you read the words off the page?
I thought it would be a lot of fun in that it was nice to see something comedic from Ryan, because the first film I did with him, Subterfuge, was actually a comedy, and I loved it. Not to say I didn't love the other films, I loved them too, but he has this ability with comedy that I don't think a lot of people have, and so I was excited to see that he had decided to do something comedic. And I felt like it could be, because it was just based in one place, there weren't a lot of locations, there wasn't a lot of craziness of trying to find all these different things. I thought it would be probably one of the most successful things that Our Todd has ever done. So.
I think you may be correct. What was the casting process like? You talked a little bit about it before, but what was the auditioning process like, especially auditioning in front of people that you know so well?
That part was actually pretty easy. Ryan and I had been sitting down auditioning different people for different roles most of the day, and we had some free time waiting for another actor to show up, and he said, well, here, let's just get you up here and do it, and you'll have your audition, because I was still on the fence on whether or not I'm going to do it, am I not going to do it, I don't know. And he said, well, let's just have your audition on tape, and then if you don't want to do it, it's fine, you can delete it. And so it was literally just him and I in his garage with the camera set up, and so it wasn't really nerve-wracking at all. I've acted with him in front of him for years now, so it was
a comfortable atmosphere.
Yes, very comfortable.
Now, I know you've worked with Ryan a lot, you've worked with Joe a lot, but some of the crew members were new on this project. What was it like working with the crew?
It was interesting to work with people who study film at universities and things like that. They know a lot more about the technical side of things. I've never gotten into the really technical stuff. So it was interesting to watch them work and figuring out what lights should be here and what lens to use on the camera, and just seeing that expertise come in to help the picture look as good as it could. And it was really cool to see all of that.
Absolutely. Independent film always has a lot of challenges, what with the restrictions of budget, of schedule, a lot of things to work under. What was it like working 20-hour days on set?
It's exhausting, especially when you have to show up the next day and do more.
Right.
But it's a lot of fun at the same time. You really get to know the people you're working with because you spend so much time with them. And I'm not a stranger to it. We've done it in the past with other films, and so I knew what to expect and I knew how to prepare for it. And we had coffee and
So did coffee play a lot into your preparation?
Oh yeah, coffee is one of my favorite things ever. So that was my one request. I said, okay, all I want is coffee on set, please. I don't care about anything else, just coffee.
And I could go forever.
So, but it's funny because even no matter how exhausted you are, you get in front of the camera and they call action, and there's wherever it comes from, this energy just happens. And especially with the type of film we were doing, it I don't know how it works, but it does.
You were able to do it.
Yeah.
That's great. Now, I know you have a history producing with Ryan and not producing on this film. I mean, were you impressed? What did you think of the production, the production value, taking more of just an acting perspective?
I thought it was really awesome. It was probably the best production we've had so far. There was a lot of thought put into different things that we didn't either think about or have the money to do in past films. So it was nice to see that our Todd had kind of stepped up its game a little bit with the production. So
it's always nice to see things moving in the right direction.
Yes.
I know that on set there was such a warm atmosphere that you were talking about. What was it like off set? Like waiting around for the other scenes, or spending those downtime moments?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, you got to know, like I said, you got to know your fellow actors and crew members and such, and it was fun. We'd run lines, or I spent a lot of time actually with the makeup artist Alex, because makeup was a big part of my character. So I really, with jokes and laughing and having a good time. But then, like I said, I was doing, I'm in a doctorate program, so I had homework to do. So there were times when I would have to step upstairs into one of the rooms and just pull myself away until they needed me again. And so I felt bad because I enjoy being on set and doing all of those things, but I had homework assignments to do. So,
Right.
But being off set and just hanging out, it's fun. You're getting to know different people and their backgrounds and their experiences. It's fun.
Absolutely, and now that the film has wrapped and is in the can and those 20-hour days are behind us, I imagine you're focusing a lot on your PhD. What else is going on in your personal life?
Not a whole lot.
That takes up quite a bit of time.
Plenty of time, yes it does. Yes it does. I haven't really had much time to think about anything else, honestly. So that's pretty much my focus right now.
And as an actor, what would you like to do just in an ideal future? What type of role, what type of character would you really like to sink your teeth into just as an artist?
I think it would be interesting to play someone who had some sort of mental illness or developmental disability or something like that. That's the job I've been doing for the last few years is working with that population of children, and so they're fascinating. It's part of the reason I'm getting a doctorate in psychology. So I think that would be a lot of fun to try and take a character like that and make it come alive.
I think there's an interesting story there.
Yeah.
That's great. Now they're talking about premiering this sometime early summer, and I know that you've premiered, been on the big screen with them before, but what does it feel like this time around? Are you excited to see yourself up on the big screen?
I'm never excited about it.
No, never.
I'm actually the type who is not a fan of all that attention. I enjoy the acting part of it, but the actual attention that comes later, showing it and all of those things, honestly, is not my favorite. But I know that it's important and we have to do it, and so I smile and I do it. It's fun to see everybody else up on screen and see the film come together and have it be a final product that we can show our family and friends and stuff. But the actual part of seeing myself is
I think you're going to enjoy this one. It looks pretty good. I've seen some of the stuff. Do you have any final words to people who haven't seen the film, know nothing about it, about your character, maybe about the film, but who are just about to see the premiere for the first time?
Well, get ready to laugh. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with this film.
That's great. That's good advice. I love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.